Geeta Raju from Center for Responsible AI. I work on tech policy related to AI governance, ethics, and other related things. So, very recently we have been working on this deepfakes in our center, and these are some very recent fake news that has been revolving around the social media in the recent times. The first one talks about the Mahakumbh video that was disseminated in social media, and here the video was real, and the information which is tagged across the video was something different, and that is something called disinformation. So here we have a different stance on how do we categorize it on how do we categorize all the information that is spreading as misinformation or disinformation, or there is other thing called malinformation. So the other news article here you can see is that this RBI has cautioned some deepfake videos of the governor, where it was like that he was recommending some financial investments or advisories, which seems to be fraud, and so this is AI generated content. So the information which was spreading was not a real video, but it was AI generated, which was created using the photos and voices of the governor. These are two different scenarios, and why am I presenting it here is that depending upon the purpose or the intentions and the fact on which the image or video is generated, then comes your detection techniques. So the process in which the deepfake video is generated is actually linked with the mechanism in which you go and detect. So there are different types in which you categorize all these misinformation or disinformation. So first thing is your fabricated content. So actually this was published by the UN HCR, which is the High Commissioner for Refugees, which have some guides for all the refugees who are traveling across the country. So here, so they have categorized all these things to differentiate the purpose on which the information is being created, and what are all the intentions. Suppose elections are more related to the propaganda, where it is more targeted towards some goals, and misleading contents is all about you want to manipulate someone and get them influenced with your agenda. So quickly moving on. So this synthetic media can be used for both good and bad. So there is some guidelines on how to control dual use of models, which has a larger implications of how do we use the AI generated content. So here we have these AI Gen AI models will actually help us produce high quality and high resolution images, which seem to be more realistic and worthwhile. And so I have given you some scenarios where it can be used for good as well as for bad. So if you see the first image, and it can be used for educational purposes, where I don't have to go and record a particular video of myself teaching some students or doing something for different people. So I can create a recorded video of me teaching in one language, but then I can disseminate it across different languages so that it is useful for different people. But the other two things are more related to some particular politician or some targeted identities. And here you can see some low risk deepfakes and high risk deepfakes. So the one in the center is more of fun type, but it has no harms. Rather, people would enjoy seeing all these images and videos. But the second one is also looking like something funnier, but it has serious implications on the context and the intentions. And the intentions could be even more worse when it is being spreaded during some events like elections, and depending upon who is the winning party. So we cannot have a very common guideline or a standard to evaluate whether it is good or bad. So detecting all these types of information is more crucial. And yeah, so these are all the different AI techniques that are used to create content from scratch or to manipulate content which is already there in the internet. So for image, so these are all more technical, and I think many of us would have been hearing a lot about GANs, diffusion networks, transformer models and all. So these are more common towards image and videos, but to audios you have voice conversion models and speech to text to speech synthesis and text to speech synthesis, and a lot of real-time manipulations where you have some zero-shot learning mechanisms where you tend to have some 3 seconds or 3-minute video audios, and then you try to translate the content that is already there, or to give some new text out of which your audio is being generated. So these are very commonly used in deepfake creation, and yeah, so this will give you an overview about how what are all the possible ways. So initially Digvijay has already given you an overview about how an image can be manipulated, or how an audio can be manipulated, and how the videos can be manipulated or replaced. So so when you see something like face swap or face de-attention, so image to image translation techniques would be more relevant. And when it comes to voice style conversion, maybe to match with the dialects of different regions. So those type of modelings will help you out in creating all these things. And when it comes to video, it is combination of both image frames and the audios. So there is a lot of things to be synced up in terms of audio and the image, so that there is a lot of motion controlled monitoring techniques which has to be evaluated across your image, the video that is being generated. And this flow guided video completion is an approach which is widely used to evaluate whether, ensure whether your audio and the video that is being generated or manipulated is going along with the sync. So with all these background, so we at our center are trying to create something that is relevant to Indian context in both deepfake generation and deepfake detection, and we are trying to follow something that is already proven or something into research. And so if you see this slide, maybe this is overwhelming, but to give you an overview, each block is a different data set that could be created, that is potentially could be created. And so here you can see that there is a raw true video from which you separate the image frames and the audio signals, and you do a face swap or face change and or some attribute change, and there are different audio signaling models which could be applied on top of the raw audio signal, and there is some target or some intentions, right? According to that, a new set of audio and video content is being generated. So this is one thing that is created out of something that is already existing, and this is a second set where you create something raw, something fabricated which is not already existing. So here we use the language models to give some input saying that you describe something through language, and the model learns from the existing data on which it is trained, and again you get something out of it from the knowledge base that it is already being trained out of. So whatever that is generated here is not real, and you don't have any ground truth or some knowledge base that you can go backtrack and evaluate whether it is true or false. So as you see some faces here, they have declared that these faces do not exist in real world. And so similarly you have it for multilingual deepfake audios and all. So all these things are some of the generation techniques, and what is more important here to be considered when we do it or when we want to address something in the Indian context is that we are facing challenges in getting the raw audio and video files. so which is relevant to the Indian context. So India has more than 22 regional languages, and there are a lot of spatial and temporal things that we have to consider, and there is a lot of challenges in getting the data to actually train a generation model or a detection model. So this is also from the similar research paper, and so this is a generation pipeline which we are trying to attempt. Yeah. And we have some few questions which we would like to have a detailed conversation in later this session.